Everybody
Alright, so select the one that is equity NASDAQ. Okay, we don't want the stock that is listed on the Mexican Stock Exchange. Okay, so always select, so the stocks that you have may be listed on multiple exchanges. Be careful, select only the stock that is listed on the US exchange. Okay, so here my stock is listed on NASDAQ and you hit go. Okay. So once we are there, okay, now we want to download the historical prices. So we go and click on historical prices. Okay. The next thing to do is to set the date range. All right, so use about 5 years of a 5 years date range. So for me here, I'm just going to go from January 1st, 2009. So by default, Yahoo, whatever date they put here is the date that the company got listed. Okay, so you can tell for how many years it has been listed on the stock exchange. And I'm going to go up to December 1st.
Work smarter, not harder.
2014. First or 31st?
31st.
Yeah, you can enter up to June 2015. Okay? I'm just doing this because when I show you the table here, I want it to be the same, so I get the same results. Okay? That's why I'm doing it. But you can enter whatever data range you want. Okay? Generally, what I like to do is check your company's financial year ending. So say your company's financial year ending is March every year. Okay? So then select the data up to March 2015, okay? Going back 5 years. Okay? Or say it's not March, it's June. Yeah.
But it needs to be the same date range for all the companies that.
Right. For all this, so select the one that you would get the shortest one. Basically,
Right.
you have to go with that. Exactly. Yes. So it has to be the same data range for all the companies in your portfolio, right? Basically, what you're doing is you're forming a portfolio within the industry. Okay. Now, for the radio button here, select monthly. We just want monthly data. Okay. And click on Get Prices. Okay. So once you do that, scroll down, and you'll see the prices listed from the newest to the oldest, right? Starting 2014 in descending order. So keep scrolling down and until you come to download to spreadsheet. Okay. So click on download to spreadsheet. Okay. And Excel the data will be opened in Excel. Okay. So when you look at the columns here, see date, open, high, low, close, volume, and adjusted close. Now, open, high, low is for that month. So 72.99 was the opening price for December. High was 73.35, low 72.41. And this was the closing price. Okay. Now originally this would be, column E would be the one we would use. But Yahoo actually gives us an adjusted close, adjusted for what? For dividends and stock splits. Okay. So this stock has not split, but you may have a stock that splits somewhere here. So say the price is $80, and then the stock splits there, so the next day you would find that the price has dropped to $40. Okay. So, but that is not a real price drop. It's just a drop because of the 1:2 split. If that happens, we actually have to adjust the closing price in order to accommodate that split. Okay, so fortunately here Yahoo already does that for us. Okay, so we don't have to worry about adjusting the closing price. So basically you can just delete all these columns. The volume you can keep if you want, just to see how much is being traded. But for now, I'm just going to delete it because all we want is the adjusted close. I'm going to delete. Okay. So once I delete that, I'm simply going to insert a column, and I'll tell you in a sec why. Insert a column to the left of column C, and I'll call this the BBBY close. we go back to Yahoo Finance. And so that was our asset data, right? That was our stock data. Now we need the market data. So for the market, remember, we need the S&P 500. S&P 500 is going to be our market. Now be careful when you enter the ticker for the S&P 500, okay? We want the whole index. We do not want ETFs or other funds that are trading with the underlying index. Like, right, for example, you can see SPXM, this is options. These are options that trade on the S&P 500. Okay, we don't want any of that. We want the real index. Ticker symbol for the real index is CAP, GSPC. CAP, GSPC. And you see, as soon as I type that in, we have here S&P 500 index. Okay. We do not want ETFs or options or futures or anything else. All we want is the index. And do the same thing, look up. Go to historical prices and select the same data range that you used for your stock. Okay, monthly and get prices. Once again, all we need is the adjusted close, but when we download it, it will download everything. So again, download to spreadsheet. Okay. So here we have the price, and we just need this column. Okay. So we are going to take this column and copy and paste it on our other spreadsheet where we have those two columns. We're going to paste it to the left. The reason why I'm doing it to the left of the stock is by default, when we plot the chart, by default, Yahoo puts the market, the one that's on the left, on the left-hand side, by default, it puts it on the x-axis. Okay? So if you have your market to the right of your stock, then you'll have to specify to Yahoo that you want it on the x-axis. Otherwise, Yahoo is going to put your stock on the x-axis, and then your result will be incorrect. Okay, your regression will be incorrect. So be careful of that. Okay.
You mean Excel, or you're saying Yahoo?
Excel.
Yeah, Excel. Okay.
Excel. Sorry, did I say Yahoo?
Yeah.
I mixed it up. Sorry. Okay. Excel. Okay. Excel puts it by default. Excel will put the one or the column to the left on the x-axis. Okay. So just be careful of that. SP 500 close. Okay. So once we have this, then like we the dates go in descending order. We want it in ascending order. Okay. So that's the first thing to do is we sort the data. So when we sort the data, be sure to highlight all the three columns. Okay. Then go to data, and then you'll have the little sort symbols here. Okay. So for the sorting, go from oldest to newest. Okay. And so it will now go from 2009 to 2014. So now we are ready to plot the chart. Okay. So for the chart, highlight or select these two columns. Okay. Remember, we have to first do the scatter plot. So select these two columns, then go to Insert. Once you go to Insert, you see here Charts, okay, where you see the little scatter plot. We want that XY scatter plot. Okay. So click on that, and if you sort of hover over it, it'll give you these different forms, but we don't want any of these fancy ones. We just want the simple scatter plot here, the first one. can't do that. You're not yet done.
No.
Nobody corrected me. Did you guys do this in 501?
We didn't do the scatter.
We didn't do scatter.
No, but yeah, well, that's not the important thing. The important thing is we have to plot the returns, right? These are the prices. I just use the prices.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure where that scatter came in.
Okay, so that's why the scatter plot looks so weird, right? So let's do SB return and BBB Y return. Okay. Now we have to compute the returns because these are the straight prices. Now for computing the returns, be sure to leave the first row blank. Okay, I always like doing that. Leave the first row blank. Okay. And then when we compute the returns, go equal to, remember return is new minus old divided by old. So this cell minus this cell, put a parentheses, always, just to be careful, Excel is kind of, sometimes it knows, sometimes it doesn't. So always safe to put a parentheses, divided by B2. Okay? And hit enter. So that's the only time you need to enter the equation. Once you have the equation, you can simply copy it. So just go to, until you get this little plus sign, okay? Stretch it, and double click. Yeah. So it will copy the equation. So now we have all the returns. Okay. Now we highlight these or select these two columns. Okay, the return column. Then go to insert, scatter. So what did you do instead of the scatter plot?
We did the data analysis.
Right, we're going to, but first we're going to do this and then we'll do the data analysis. So we go to the scatter plot, okay? And take your mouse somewhere where you see the points are close together. These dots are close together, okay? Because if you do somewhere where they're not, you're not going to get this option, which is, so take your mouse and point it to where it's close together and right click. Okay? And you'll see that you'll come up with this option of add trend line. So click on that, add trend line, and it will pull up these options. By default, Excel will choose linear, which is what we want, okay, linear. Then check these two boxes, display equation on chart, display R squared on chart. Okay. Don't check the set intercept box, okay, we do not want to set the intercept to 0, but we want to see the equation on the chart and we want to see the R squared value on the chart. And enter. Now, so it will put the equation here, so just move the equation to somewhere where we can see it. Okay. So this gives us this is our regression line, correct? And which is the slope of the line here? What is the slope of the line? 1.01, right? That is the slope of the line, meaning that is the beta of the stock, right? 1.01. 0.0053 is the y-intercept, okay? And I will explain in a sec what that is. Actually, there's a problem in chapter 9 that sort of uses this information. And the R squared is 0.2873. That means R squared does what? R squared measures the goodness of fit. Yeah. So 28.73% is R squared.